Struggling. Des, you're gonna have to open this. Hello, welcome back to In the Middle. I'm Des. Do we have to be so formal? No,
we don't.
No, let's just start talking.
Welcome to the In the Middle podcast, a podcast where we talk about every avenue of life, because life really takes place in the middle, not the beginning, not the end. How do we navigate the middle?
Well, hello.
Yeah, hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
How are you?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
You know that? You think you're good?
Yeah.
But you never know what's around the corner. So I think I'm good. Can I share what I've been thinking about?
Yeah, please.
Just in and around endurance, I found myself, and I'm not this kind of a guy, but I found myself thinking about animals and things like that. Not
anything specific?
Not bison. Yeah, two things.
Not bison. Okay.
Camels.
Okay.
Camels came into my mind, and I shared about this with some of our staff. And then just yesterday, penguins.
Penguins.
It's very random. I know we get this, and so
such a difference in.
Let me lean into it. When it comes to endurance, camels, because camels are known to be like they could just go and go and go and go and go.
Yeah.
But camels give you no warning whatsoever when they're about to drop dead. They don't slow down. They have this amazing endurance, but without any warning whatsoever, they just go to their knees and drop dead. Horses slow down. Humans
slow down.
I'm slowing down.
Yeah.
Camels just go and go and go and then drop dead. And you don't get any warning signal that they are out. They are done. You get no warning signal. And I was thinking about that in the context of endurance.
Okay.
And with endurance...
Endurance meaning like how long it's taking to get something there, or what do you mean by endurance?
I think for a lot of us, we do have a system that tells us we're depleted. We do have a system.
Signals
that say,
absolutely.
Okay, we're depleted. And I do believe this whole thing about being in the middle, when it comes to going long, we have these signals that say, okay, replenish. Replenish. Because if you don't, you're going to run out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think one of the key things to going long haul, enduring a season, is reading those signals and not being blind to the fact that endurance is about being ready, being prepared, and what you do in the middle of things is critical. And so there are some key things I think that are related to that, which then linked me to penguins. But we can talk about...
Yeah, the penguins is interesting. But okay, what are like... So my signals for me slowing down or feeling like that I've hit my threshold is definitely anxiety. Like anxiety will start to hit me more. And I think that's because of sleepiness. But because when I'm tired, anxiety shoots up for me. And then I know that I'm wearing down and I need to slow down. Because when I'm at a calmer state, definitely anxiety is prevalent in my life. And speaking of that endurance, I'm thinking about like my own idea of what endurance feels like. It feels like to me this journey of me playing music, from where I've started to where I'm going. And I'm wondering how we can talk about what the middle feels like. That feels like endurance to me. It feels like the long race. It doesn't feel short. I want to talk about the middle and how do I identify some things in there to stop myself from slowing down or stop myself from burning out, to recognize that this is a healthy part of what's happening here in the middle, 'cause the name of the podcast.
Yep.
And then also, where do the sides meet? Where do I recognize the beginning and the end of this endurance race and me playing music? Yeah.
Yep. So to me, this is where it is. We're not camels. I think often we just think, I just need to set off and keep going. And people said to me, don't forget, Des, life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I was like going, I'm going to disagree with that statement.
Why?
I think life is a series of short sprints. I go, I recover. I go, I recover. I go, I recover. Because I look at life and it's just not one consistent, here we go. It's, no, there are moments where I need to give my maximum energy, but I then need to give my maximum recovery.
So it's not like a camel that just keeps going with no slowing down. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Correct.
All
and
right.
so I think for me, when I look back, there are seasons of life where, no, I have to extend my energy, but I need to know there's a finish line, and then I know how fast to run. I need to know there's a finish line, and if there is no finish line, shame on me. I need to plan those finish lines, which I would say is then, that's rhythm. That's, well, surprise, surprise. That's one of the purposes of Sabbath rest.
Yeah.
It's, I have to go, and I can go hard, but if I'm just going hard and I see no end to that, that's not healthy. I need to go hard, and I need to plan recovery as much as I plan the project of going.
Now, do you put a timeline on the going hard? Like, I know that's hard. I know everyone's different, but my going hard and your going hard is different. But are people pushing through that time of recovery and not knowing that they should have been recovering? Like, what does that look like?
It depends how much detail you want. I think there's a daily rhythm. There's a daily rhythm. And if we look at our day, how we start our day and how we end our day, because the most of the day is the middle. The most of our time is spent in the middle, but how are we doing that? And so we need to almost go, okay, how am I going to start today? Am I going to start the day with intentionality? This is what's in front of me. And do I have a plan for the end of my day?
That brings me to something we were talking earlier, and you said something about the joy of endurance. It almost, where I'm from, it's like love the grind. You know what I mean? The same sort of thing. That's the same sort of thing. But talk about that joy of endurance, because I think when people hear the idea of short sprints up and down, it can sound like a marathon, and it can sound like never ending.
It could, but I could look at it. It's a series of short sprints. I go, I finished that race today.
Oh,
joy.
Yeah.
Like,
celebrating the win.
Hey, did that today.
Yeah.
Did that today. Now, unexpected things can happen along the way, but still having this ability to go, no, I did this. I can recover. Am I fueling up mentally, emotionally, physically for my next day?
Yeah.
Am I prepared for that?
Yeah.
Is my day going to come at me, or am I going to attack my day? There is some elements that are in my control and some that are out of my control. So I think there's daily rhythms of go and recover.
Yeah.
I think there's weekly go and recover. And then there's seasonally, and what are those seasons like? They're different for us. Well, you would know, being a parent of a newborn is a season.
Yes.
And then being a parent of a toddler is a season.
Yes.
Then being a parent of whatever, and there's sweet spots of parenting season. And then there's being a parent of teenagers. And those who don't know, I have 4 that aren't kids anymore.
Yeah.
But and how you want to perceive that. So in a family household, in a marriage, in any relationship, what is my rhythm like? Do I have a vacation planned? Do I have times of recovery and restoration planned? Because all too often we don't create intentionality on recovery. And it's key. Any great athlete has recovery planned.
Say that again. We don't create
and we don't plan for recovery.
Yeah.
We need to schedule it. We need to, depending on how you live your life, calendar it.
Yeah.
Like if you need to. And so if that becomes something that's important, then it gives me the freedom to say no, because I need to be in recovery mode. So I've had times where, okay, here's what's going on. Do I need to be present at that?
Yeah.
It all depends. Am I present at that because people expect it of me? But if I've got something really important the day after,
Yeah.
am I going to be fully prepared and alive and well for that which matters most? Or am I going to let the tyranny of everybody else's expectation mean that when it comes to what matters most, I'm not fully refreshed? So I once heard a leader say, my best contribution to life is doing what I am best at. So I need to be at my best for when I am delivering what I am best at. Let that sink in a little bit.
One more time. Yeah.
Let it sink in a little bit. So if my best is, say, if I'm an athlete, everything's about getting ready for game day.
Yeah.
Everything is. So why don't we apply that to where am I at my best? So for I should be at my best delivering leadership or delivering, say, Sunday mornings. I should be at my best.
Yes.
It's my fault if I'm not at my best on Sunday morning.
Yeah, you're held responsible.
So therefore, how I get ready for that is key. But if I say, well, I had all this to do and this and this and this and this, and I gave my best energy to that which I am not the best at, that's not smart. That's just not smart. Now, I know sometimes we have to do things we're not good at.
Yeah.
But where I can, it's my responsibility to bring my best to what I am best at.
Okay, so let me just ask you a question here. So we're talking about this short race and taking these breaks and acknowledging these breaks, and I think that we can all do better at kind of acknowledging even more that even when you still feel good, it's time to take a break here. But what about the person that is looking at life like a marathon and hear what you're saying and can agree to an extent saying that these short sprints up and down, right? But they haven't reached their goal, right?
Right.
And that goal is still a long ways away of these short sprints.
Right.
But all they can envision is how turmoil this is in the middle. How do they enjoy the endurance? How do they take, what steps would you say that they would create to enjoy this endurance of this short sprint race until they reach their goal, so that they're able to look back or look forward and go, wow, look what I've accomplished, look what I've done. How would you?
To me, it all comes back to what has propelled you in the first place. Some people say it's your why. You need to know you're going in a direction, but why are you going there? And what is it that's propelled you there? And often I find it's the things that are behind us, pushing us, that we need to remember. If it's just an ethereal, oh, here's a goal, I just want to get there, you could. So I looked at this. There's many a person who has set out to complete a task or a challenge because they're doing it on behalf of somebody else. I'm doing this to honor somebody else. I'm doing this event to remember somebody else. And when it gets hard, they go, but why am I doing this in the first place? And it's almost like you hear them say, in honor of this person's memory, in honor of, that they've got that drive, that inner well that just goes, I don't want to quit now because. And so I've seen that there's this, but because this is this has been talked about, is what I'm doing a job, a career, or a calling?
Yeah, I want to get there. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, keep going. But I want to go somewhere.
Because if it's just a job,
yeah. So what
you're going to quit. You're going to quit.
But what do you say to that? What do you say to someone, the 9 to 5, journeying through this in the middle? That's just a job and doesn't really have a why. How do they find their why?
You need a fresh revelation of that thing that you do. You're waking up in the morning and you think it's just a job. Well, you need a grander vision for that. You need a grander vision for that. Yes, that may be something you don't fully thrive in, but what is it bringing to you? What is it bringing to you? Maybe it's putting a paycheck on the table. Right. Well, why do you need a paycheck? Because I've got people in my life that I've been blessed with to support. I'll get a fresh vision of that. So therefore, when I do go and do the things I am doing, this is fueling it.
Yeah.
This is fueling that. You need don't get me wrong. Some days you just want to go, get it behind me. But we need a perspective that goes, is it a job, is it a career, or is it a calling?
Okay.
And I think those three will really, really help frame things. Don't get me wrong.
As a Christian, or we're both Christians on this podcast, but for non-believers, that word calling.
Yes.
How do you identify that word when you are, we talked about stuck in the middle. When you're stuck in this place, how do you identify that calling, this calling from?
So I think this has been relegated to a cliche and not recognized that it is a word from God, and that is, whatever you do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus. Whatever you do, it's all worship.
Yeah.
It's all worship. And we've relegated it to a cliche. Yeah, do it all for... No, seriously, take that seriously. Take that seriously. Do it all as unto the Lord, as they would say.
Yeah.
But that's then an expression of gratitude. Oh, maybe he gave me this in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's a gratitude response to why I get to do this.
Yeah.
So many younger parents, I see younger parents whining about having sleep deprivation. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. One of our children did not sleep through the night for 3 years.
Wow.
It was 3 years till he did his first full night's sleep.
Wow.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But at the same time, some of these, this is terrible, it's whining, going, hang on a minute. Is that child an answer to prayer that you were praying for, that you long for one day? Who do you think's telling you to whine right now? And this is it. The enemy always wants to live in a life of desolation and wasteland.
Yeah.
God wants to live in abundance.
Yeah, that's good.
So therefore, are we living out of the source of an Eden abundance, or are we living out of a desolation and wasteland mindset? And we sometimes just have to go, okay, if I feel like I'm in desolation, all right, that's don't deny that. So where do I get restoration from then? I have to go to the source of Eden abundance to glean from that, rather than stuck in my desolation mindset, which then, let me lean into this, which then brings me to penguins.
Okay, thank you, because I've been waiting on the penguins, I'll be honest.
Weird, just kind of weird.
Okay.
So I'm not a Discovery kind of channel guy, National Geographic guy, but
you do love
sometimes
animals.
Sometimes things get me. Here's the thing about the penguin. I was thinking about amphibians. So amphibians, say like a frog. A frog lives in two atmospheres. A frog is able to be very happy in the water, but also happy on land.
On land, yep.
But with a frog, it has been clearly defined. If the frog is on land for too long and never goes in the water, it will die. And if the frog is only in the water and never is able to come out onto land, it will die. It requires two
balances,
living environments, two environments. The penguin was a bit different. The penguin, when I looked at it, it was a little different. So the penguin sleeps on land, gives birth on land, nurtures its young on land. That's where it exists, mostly on land.
Right.
And yet, when you see a penguin move on land, awkward. Really? Weird. Yeah. How a penguin moves on land, not efficient, weird. And yet, all of those key components for life seem to be on land. But you put the penguin in the ocean, elegant, graceful, thriving. Effortless, thriving. It's got these two environments that are like, how interesting. Its nest is on land, and yet it experiences effortless beauty in another environment, in the ocean. We are physical and spiritual. We live in two environments. What are we doing about that? Are we only transfixed on the physical environment, knowing that are we at our best when we are swimming in the God environment?
Oh, yeah, come on.
In the presence and dwelling in that spiritual environment. And that, I believe, is a key to endurance. It's a key to endurance, which is a key to recovery. And our recovery is when we literally fuel our souls. That's where we get our recovery. If we're only transfixed on the physical, we miss the why. We miss the calling. We miss the purpose. We miss the, where do I find rest? You know, it's biblically, psalmist declared it, find rest, O my soul. Oh, hang on. What is that about?
Yeah.
You know, be still and know that I am God. Okay. And so this endurance thing has got a lot to do with how we spend our recovery, planning that recovery. You know, I look at the life of Jesus, and he didn't just go.
Yeah.
Early in the morning, he gets up and goes to pray. And it's like, what? So I've been thinking about that and going, interesting. Am I trying to be a penguin and never jump in the water? And when do I feel most alive? When do I feel most energized? It's when quite clearly there is something deep within me flowing out.
Yeah. You are filled. You are being filled.
Yeah.
And
streams of living water will flow from within him.
Yeah.
The words of Jesus go. Interesting. So I do think when it comes to this whole endurance thing, I think we're amphibians. We live in two environments. So we should be conscious of that.
But more like the penguin, where one's graceful more than the other.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I can relate to that in a I think a definite music sense. As I think about In the Middle and just that endurance and growing up and trying to reach this goal of being a musician and a full-time music person, I can recount those times of needing rest and missing them. And I can recount those times of me finally following Jesus and now giving, not putting all of my worth in music, but more of my worth in him. And now this becomes an assignment,
Yep.
this music thing, instead of a draining job, right?
Yep.
That's good.
And there's little moments even in our normal days. And for me, I've taken this on board so much more lately. My journey to and from places is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for recovery.
I mean,
recovery.
So lastly, just the person that's not in the middle yet, that's getting ready to start, that maybe has their why, that maybe has all the things necessary, they're ready to go on their journey of endurance. What words do you say to them to keep them hopeful when it gets hard? And I know that we have the penguin analogy, and I know that sometimes human nature, we can miss that penguin analogy a lot, What do you say to them as they're beginning their journey, job, 9 to 5, something that they may not be in love in, but they found the why? What do you say to them at the side before they enter this journey?
I would say, don't look at this as one big long expedition. Break it down into a series of short sprints.
Yeah.
Go hard when you know you need to go hard, but you've got to plan recovery.
Yeah.
Recover, go again. Recover, go again.
Yeah.
Literally come up for air, go again.
Yeah.
But then you can go again and go harder. So don't buy into, that just keep going and keep going. Like, well, hang on a minute. What if I did refuel right now? I'm going to refuel. I'm going to restore, and don't refuel when you've run out. I mean, we all know you should. You go to the gas station before it's on empty.
Right.
If you've ever run completely out, you just go, wow.
Right.
Here was me thinking this was a smart idea.
Right.
It just cost me more time.
More effort.
Right. And so so look at that analogy, but go literally plan, have a daily rhythm of recovery, a weekly rhythm of recovery, a seasonally rhythm of recovery. And what does that do? And you'll go long. You'll go long with that mindset. You're not invincible.
Well, I'm excited. This is really good. I think the short sprint thing is something new to me. I think I'm going to look at that differently.
Yep.
And even as we go into next week, I know we're going to talk about what happens when it doesn't go as planned.
Yep.
Like when you plan it out and it doesn't go as planned.
The unforeseen.
This is good today.
Good, man.
This is good. Thanks, Des.
Good. Pleasure.
Everything else good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Great.
It is. It is. Coffee always helps.
Well, we'd like to thank Grace Community Church for hosting this podcast, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Awesome. In the middle.
Have a good day.
Thanks.